Thinking like a programmer isn't really about memorizing a ton of complex code. Nope, it's a way of looking at pretty much any problem, big or small, and breaking it down into simple, logical steps. So today, we're going to uncover that fundamental skill, and believe it or not, it all starts with a question you can probably already answer. Have you ever followed a recipe? Step 1, chop the onions. Step 2, heat the pan. You're following this really precise sequence of instructions to get a very specific result, which is hopefully a delicious meal, right? Well, if you've done that, then congratulations. You've already used an algorithm. See? You've been thinking like a programmer this whole time and you didn't even know it. A recipe is just a set of instructions to solve a problem, and in this case, the problem is being hungry. And that brings us to our first big idea here. Algorithms are literally everywhere. They are the secret, step-by-step instructions that power so much of what we do every day, from the way your coffee maker brews your morning cup to how your phone's GPS gets you through the city. So, what is an algorithm officially? It's just a sequence of steps or a set of rules that you follow to solve a problem. Just like a recipe, it's a clear, finite list of instructions designed to take you from a starting point to a successful endpoint every single time. So an algorithm is a great set of instructions, right? But how do you visualize it before you write any code? Well, that's where one of the most powerful tools for a programmer comes in, the flowchart. It literally turns your abstract steps into a clear visual map. And a flowchart is exactly what it sounds like. It's a diagram that shows the flow of your logic. It uses a few standard shapes and arrows to represent each step, which makes the whole process incredibly easy to understand with just a quick glance. And these simple shapes are basically the universal building blocks for any process. You've got ovals to mark your start and stop points. Parallelograms, those handle your inputs and outputs, like getting data or showing a result. Rectangles, they represent an action, like doing a calculation. And then there's the most important one, the diamond. This is where your program actually makes a decision. It asks a simple yes or no question that can change the entire path your logic takes. All right, let's put this into practice with a super simple problem, finding the largest of two numbers. We're going to use this one example to see how both a flowchart and our next tool, Pseudocode, can solve it. Okay, let's build our visual map. Every single flowchart starts the exact same way, with that oval start symbol. That's our official beginning. From there, our logic starts to flow. First things first, we need some data to work with, so we use two of those parallelogram input symbols to grab our two numbers. And now for the crucial part, the decision. This is where the magic happens. We use that diamond shape to ask a simple question. Is number 1 greater than number 2? And this single question creates two totally different paths for our logic to follow. So if the answer is yes, we go down one path to show the first number. If it's no, we follow the other path to show the second one. But here's the key. No matter which path we take, they both lead to the same final destination, the stop oval, which signals that our process is all done. Now, flowcharts are fantastic for visualizing logic, but what if you're more of a write it down kind of person? Well, that brings us to another essential tool, Pseudocode. Think of it like drafting your plan in simple, structured English before you ever touch a real line of code. The name Pseudocode literally means false code, and that's the whole point. It's a way to write out your algorithm using simple text, but it's not a real programming language. So you don't have to worry about all the strict rules like getting every single semicolon and bracket exactly right. It's all about the logic, not the syntax. And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? Pseudocode totally frees you up to focus purely on the logic of your solution. You can map everything out, spot mistakes in your thinking, and tweak your steps all before you write a single line of actual real code. So now we've got our visual map, the flowchart, and we've got our written draft, the Pseudocode. Let's put them side by side and see how these two very different tools can tackle the exact same problem. And here they are. Just take a look. And notice how they perfectly mirror each other. The input lines in the pseudocode, those match the parallelogram symbols in the flowchart. And that if, then, else statement, that's the exact same logic as our diamond decision point, and its two branching paths. They are simply two different languages describing the exact same logical journey. So, why go through all this trouble? Why bother planning at all? Because planning is everything. I mean, you wouldn't build a house without a blueprint, right? So you definitely shouldn't try to write a program without a plan. Whoa, okay, look at this. This is some real code for a pretty simple worm game. It's not even a huge program, but you can see how complicated it gets really, really fast. Now imagine trying to write this, or something 100 times bigger, just from an idea in your head. It would be an absolute mess. And this right here, this is the ultimate takeaway. Planning with tools like flowcharts and pseudocode helps organize all those complex thoughts. It lets you find and squash logical errors early on, before they become these super frustrating bugs in your code. And most importantly, it creates a clear blueprint that you, or maybe even an entire team, can follow to build something that actually works. So, if you remember one thing, remember this. Flowcharts and pseudocode are not just some boring exercises you do in school. They are the practical, essential blueprints that every programmer uses to build reliable, effective, and sometimes even elegant software. So you now have the blueprints for problem solving, the fundamental tools for thinking like a programmer. And that's a really powerful way of thinking that you can apply to almost anything. So my question to you is this: what problem are you going to solve first?